Welcome to the deep dive. We're tackling something really practical today, speaking English with confidence in everyday situations. You know, those times, maybe a quick question in a meeting, ordering coffee, just chatting with someone new. Feeling comfortable expressing yourself in English really does make a world of difference.
Absolutely. And for you listening, wanting to get straight to the point quickly, effectively, without getting buried in information, well, that's what we're aiming for.
Right.
We've looked at a really good source, a podcast episode all about boosting English speaking skills. And we've pulled out the core strategies, the key things that will genuinely help you build that confidence.
Exactly. So our mission today is pretty simple. Give you actionable strategies, some key phrases, real examples so you can handle those English speaking moments more easily, wherever you are. Okay, so let's dive in. When we say speaking English with confidence, what does that actually mean? What are we really talking about?
Yeah, that's the place to start, isn't it? It's really important to get that clear. Speaking confidently isn't about being perfect. Not at all. It's more about getting your thoughts across clearly, staying calm if you stumble, like if you forget a word.
Which happens to everyone.
It does. And just keeping the conversation flowing. It's really about connection, about being understood.
So less about perfect grammar, more about getting the message across. Is that it?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And the source we looked at had a great analogy, actually. It compared confidence to a muscle.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, which really highlights why practice is so important, but also having the right mindset. That's crucial too.
Okay, the mindset. So what are some of these mental shifts we can make? How do we build this confidence muscle?
Well, the podcast outlined 5 really practical mindset tips. The first one, and this is maybe the most important, is focus on communication, not perfection. It's a good reminder that, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The main goal is understanding each other.
Okay.
Getting caught up in the fear of errors can really hold you back. So shifting focus to just conveying meaning, that can be so freeing.
That does take the pressure off. Okay, what's number 2?
The second tip is to actually practice speaking out loud every day.
Every day?
Yeah, the source suggested even just 10 minutes can make a real difference over time. Things like speaking in front of a mirror or maybe recording yourself briefly.
Recording yourself? Sounds a bit intimidating, maybe, hearing your own voice.
It can feel a bit weird at first, yeah, but it gives you that objective listen, You can really hear how you sound, where you might want to tweak things. It's about self-awareness, really.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay, tip 3.
Use simpler sentences consciously. The aim is to connect with who you're talking to, not necessarily impress them with, super complex language that might actually make things less clear. Sometimes simple is just better, clearer.
Prioritize clarity over fancy words. I like that. What's number 4?
Focus on learning useful phrases, not just single words. This is so practical for conversation flow.
Okay.
Instead of just memorizing lists of vocabulary, focus on chunks of language you can actually use. Things like, that's a good point, or could you repeat that, please? They're like conversational building blocks.
Yeah, those are super useful for keeping things moving. And the last mindset tip.
Celebrate the small wins. Every single time you use your English, no matter how small it seems, acknowledge it. That's progress. Give yourself credit for trying, for engaging. It builds that positive feeling.
That's great. So mindset sorted. Focus on communication, practice daily, keep it simple, use phrases, celebrate wins. Fantastic foundation. Now, how do we apply this in, actual everyday life?
Right. This is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. Yeah. The source breaks down common situations, gives specific phrases, practical tips. Let's start with one we all do, going to a store.
Perfect. Yeah. Very relatable. What phrases should we have ready?
Okay, some really common useful ones. Hi, can you help me find this item? Direct, helpful. How much does this cost? Obviously essential. And do you take credit cards? Always good to know.
Yep.
The source had a little example too. Like you're looking for water. You could go up to someone and say, hi, excuse me, where can I find bottled water?
Simple enough.
Clerk says it's in aisle 5. You can follow up, thank you. And do you happen to have almond milk as well? Easy.
Simple, direct, gets the job done. And the confidence tip for shopping.
Prepare maybe 3 to 5 key shopping phrases beforehand. Practice them until they feel really natural, like they just roll off the tongue. That preparation can really lower the anxiety when you're actually there.
That's really practical advice. Okay, what about another common one, like a cafe or a restaurant?
Again, having a few go-to phrases makes a big difference. Useful ones like, can I get a table for 2? polite and clear.
Right.
I'd like a coffee with milk, please, or whatever your order is. And could I see the menu? Essential, obviously. Quick example. Waiter comes over. Good afternoon. Table for how many? You can just say confidently 2, please.
Straightforward. And the confidence tip for ordering.
Practice ordering out loud at home. The source even suggested recording yourselves doing it.
Ah, the recording again.
Yeah, it just gets you used to hearing yourself say those specific phrases, helps you fine-tune it in a, no pressure zone.
That makes sense. Rehearsing without an audience first.
Oh.
Okay, let's shift gears. The office, the workplace, English confidence there can be really important.
Oh, absolutely. In a professional setting, you might need phrases like, I'd like to share my opinion for contributing. Or, can we schedule a meeting to discuss this further? Very practical for teamwork. And maybe let's touch base later. A common way to suggest a follow-up.
Okay.
Imagine a colleague asks, do you have a moment for a quick chat? You can reply, sure, just give me about 5 minutes to wrap this up.
Clear, professional.
Yeah.
And the tip for workplace confidence.
Learn general workplace phrases relevant to your field, definitely. But also, the source suggested shadowing, like listening to TED Talks or business podcasts in English and repeating what they say.
Oh, that's interesting. Shadowing.
Yeah, it helps you pick up not just the words, but the rhythm, the intonation of professional English, how it actually sounds.
That's a brilliant idea. Really immerse yourself. Okay, last scenario, traveling.
Right. When you're somewhere new, knowing a few phrases is huge. Like, where is the nearest bus stop?
Essential.
You help me with directions to, wherever you're going. And I have a reservation under the name of, for hotels, like checking in. Hello, I have a booking under the name Maria Lopez. Receptionist might say, yes, welcome, Mrs. Lopez. May I see your passport? Standard stuff.
Vital phrases for any trip. And the travel confidence tip.
Practice those polite travel questions you think you'll need. And also, the source made a great point, smile. Seriously, even if your English isn't perfect, being friendly, smiling, that nonverbal cue goes a long, long way in making interactions smoother, more positive.
So true, that universal language. Okay, so we've got situation-specific phrases. Are there any, universally useful phrases that boost confidence anywhere?
Yes, definitely. The source pulled together about 20 really good ones, grouped by function, like, for making requests politely. Could you help me with this, or would you mind repeating that? Always useful.
Okay, good ones.
For asking questions, keeping the chat going. What do you think about that? Or how do you feel about it?
Invites the other person in.
Yeah, it keeps it interactive.
Yeah.
What about agreeing or disagreeing?
For agreement, something simple like, I totally agree. Clear. If you disagree but want to be polite, I see your point, but acknowledges them first.
Nice.
And giving opinions, starting with, in my opinion, or from my perspective, signals what you're doing.
Good signposts. And those tricky moments starting and ending conversations. To start, you could try, excuse me, is this seat taken? Or just a friendly, hi, nice to meet you.
Simple.
And ending gracefully. It was great talking with you. Is positive.
Yeah.
Or, let's catch up again soon, suggest future contact.
These are like a conversational first aid kit, really useful. Did the source suggest how to practice these specific phrases?
Yes. Flashcards, write them down, practice saying them out loud, maybe try different tones, different speeds, get comfortable with how they feel and sound coming from you.
Good tip. Now, you mentioned shadowing earlier for the workplace context. Can we unpack that a bit more? What exactly is it and why is it good?
Right, shadowing. It's a really effective technique. Basically, you listen to someone speaking English, maybe from an audio recording or video.
Okay.
And you repeat what they're saying almost exactly as they say it at pretty much the same time. You're trying to mimic everything, their pronunciation, the ups and downs of their voice, the rhythm, as closely as you can.
So you're like their vocal shadow, speaking right along with them.
Exactly, like an echo.
Yeah.
The podcast we reviewed even had a couple of short audio scenes, one in a coffee shop, one making small talk at work, specifically for listeners to practice this with.
Yeah.
The idea is, by doing this active repetition and mimicry, you're training your brain and your mouth muscles to coordinate better for speaking English. The source recommended trying it for maybe 10 minutes a day.
Wow, okay. That sounds intense, but potentially really powerful for fluency and getting that natural sound.
Right.
What other specific exercises did the source suggest for actively building confidence?
They highlighted 3 really practical ones. First was voice journaling.
Voice journaling.
Yeah, just record yourself talking about your day for, say, 2 minutes. Simple stuff like, today I woke up at, or I felt happy because.
Yeah.
The big benefit here is building fluency quickly through regular low-stakes practice.
Just getting used to talking. I like that. What was the second exercise?
The second one was called the mirror talk.
Okay, like practicing in the mirror.
Exactly. Stand in front of a mirror, speak to yourself in English, practice greetings, ask and answer simple questions. And importantly, notice your eye contact, your body language as you speak. It builds confidence in your whole presentation, not just the words.
Connecting the verbal and nonverbal. Makes sense. Communication is more than just talking. And the last exercise.
The final one was story retelling.
Okay.
So you listen to a short English story, could be anything, a news bit, a short narrative. Then you try to retell that same story, but in your own words.
Okay.
It's great for memory, for activating vocabulary you know but might not use often, and ultimately boosts confidence as you organize your thoughts and express them in English.
These are all really concrete things you, the listener, can actually start doing. Now, the source had a quick quiz at the end just to reinforce things. Let's maybe run through those quickly. Good way to check understanding.
Good idea.
Okay, first question was, what does speaking confidently really mean?
And the answer, like we said at the start, it's about expressing yourself clearly, staying calm, not about being absolutely perfect or mistake-free.
Exactly. Second, what's just one phrase you could use at a cafe?
Oh, lots. But a simple one. Can I get a table for two, please? Or I'd like a coffee, please? Something like that.
Yep. Question 3. What's one way you can practice speaking at home every day?
Recording yourself speaking, like the voice journal or that mirror talk exercise. Easy things to do at home.
Right. Question 4. What's one benefit of doing that shadowing technique?
Big one is improving pronunciation and fluency. Training your ear and your mouth for the sounds and rhythm of English.
Got it. And the last question, number 5. What's a polite way to ask for help in English?
A really useful, polite phrase is, could you please help me with this?
Excellent. Hopefully that little recap helps solidify those key ideas for everyone listening. So as we start to wrap this up, what's the sort of main takeaway message you want people to hold on to about speaking English confidently?
I think the biggest thing is that confidence isn't about knowing every word or every grammar rule. It's really about using the English you do know, clearly and calmly. It's about connection. That's the goal.
Connection, not perfection. I like that. Any final words of encouragement for listeners on this journey?
Yeah, definitely. Just remember to practice daily, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. Use real-life examples to prepare. And really try not to let the fear of mistakes stop you. Making errors is totally normal. It's part of learning anything new. You've already taken a big step just by tuning in and thinking about this. Keep going, keep practicing, and honestly, your confidence will grow every time you speak.
That's really great, encouraging advice. Thanks so much for breaking all that down for us.
My pleasure.
And for you listening, maybe just one final thought to take away. Think about one specific situation coming up for you this week where you'd like to feel more confident using English. Could be anything. Mentally walk through it, maybe using some phrases we talked about. Picture it going well. You really can do this.